The NFL kicks off on September 10th, and the league is not only confident enough in their corona prevention plans to start the season on time, but to do so with a bevy of teams planning on playing in front of fans.
This begs the question of what the NFL is actually willing to do to keep its players safe. And with player protests and boycotts becoming more prevalent, we have to ask what the league is prepared to do to support its players and to support the social justice message.
Despite these uncertainties, there's a lot to be excited about in this upcoming season. I mean, Tom Brady's new look Bucks, the impending Chiefs dynasty, these are all just new storylines beginning to unfold, and that will continue to develop if they're given the chance to. So Dylan, what does NFL have to get right?
First of all, before I get into anything, I came in here today full of life, happy. I got my Kingslayer, Brady Killer, Tannehill jersey on, feeling good about my Dolphins, and I have to walk into you wearing a Minka Fitzpatrick jersey.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to say, I'd love to say that, TJ Watt jerseys were out of stock or something like that, but I more just want to do it for you.
Our replacement for him is better than he'll ever be anyway.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But before I get into the actual on-the-field stuff, I want to talk about how the NFL is going to handle coronavirus. Their plan seems to mirror the MLB a lot, where there's just tiers of people who have access. I know. Where, like, the lunch ladies and the media workers are not going to have access to locker rooms and to the field, but all the players are. And football, unlike baseball, is not a socially distant sport. And it's unclear what kind of rules they're going to have in their home markets and when they go on the road. And we saw how badly it's developed coronavirus in the MLB in their short season. The NFL, led by Roger Goodell, with this mediocre plan going forward, I'm concerned about how they're going to make the season last.
No, it actually sends shivers down my spine knowing that some of our favorite players are walking in to an unsafe environment. I mean, and that's the thing, valuing your players. We see what the MLB is doing, where they're basically saying, 1-2 people get it, it's not a big deal, we can still play ball and that's fine. Let's just trudge through it. I think the NFL is going to take a similar approach, which I'm really scared about, especially in the group setting. You got 11 guys in a huddle. How are you going to make that work? And in terms of this league being the same one that, is kind of mishandling things one by another. You got Roger Goodell. You want to compare it to Rob Manfred and the job he's done. He is a replica of Roger Goodell in a lot of ways. This is a commissioner that is just 4 years out of completely blackballing Colin Kaepernick out of the league for just speaking up on something that he believed in. So to go about that, to go on the social justice side of things, I'm even more scared about that. I'm scared of what Roger Goodell is going to be putting in place for these players to say, I want to speak out, do my thing, without fearing dire consequences, literally career-ending consequences.
Roger Goodell is literally the worst person to have at the helm of this thing. The players hate him, and all of the player safety and all of the social justice messages that they hold dear to their heart rest in the hands of Roger Goodell. It's just a recipe for disaster. But so that being said, I want to talk about football because I miss football so much, and I'm excited for my Dolphins this year, who I think finally have a shot at winning the AFC East for the first time. Didn't win it last decade, maybe this decade we can win the AFC East. First, I want to talk about the Bills. People are praising Josh Allen. He is a poor man's Colin Kaepernick. Doesn't have what it takes. The Bills' best defender, Shaq Lawson, he's in Miami now. So is the Patriots' best linebacker, Kyle Van Noy. So is Byron Jones. Defense is looking stacked. Coach Flores is looking like a great coach. Finished 5-4 last year. Hyped for Miami and Tua.
Listen, I know the Bills don't have fans, so you're not going to be offending anyone, but it's almost blasphemous. I think Josh Allen is a great upcoming quarterback. He might not be the best one in your division. That might not even be on your team either. I'm just saying, Cam Newton in New England.
That actually is concerning. I'm definitely way more concerned about the Patriots than the Bills. Cam Newton is 1 year removed from being from not being an MVP quarterback, but from being a very good quarterback. He had 3,400 yards, 24 touchdowns, 500 rush yards in 14 games in 2018. He took the blame for the Patriots or the Panthers dynasty crumbling, but it wasn't his fault. He wasn't playing that bad.
He was getting hurt.
He was hurt in 2019 at the end of 2018, but he is an MVP quarterback who now, of course, is playing for the New England Patriots, and I'm very worried about what Bill Belichick can do with him leading the team.
Oh, I mean, I think if as a Steelers fan, I'm not going to doubt Bill Belichick anymore for the rest of my life. So I'm sure he's going to find a way to make it work, even with half of the team opting out for the season. Smart guys for that as well. Now, I have to make my prediction. I have to put in the books. Steelers, 11-5. 11-5.
11-5.
Book it right now.
Who's playing quarterback?
And you could you can play this back to me if you're not doing well. But I believe in this team. You know who's playing quarterback?
Is
A
it
Hall of
Mason?
Famer.
It's
A
Ben.
Hall of
Okay.
Famer. Big Ben Roethlisberger, and he's back and
Is
he's
he okay?
passionate. He is a guy who loves the game again, is what people are saying. I'm getting excited of what could happen. We were 8-5 at one point last season with this terrible, Mason Rudolph getting smacked over the head every other week offense. We're 8-5. I mean, so you can make the argument that we could have finished a 9-7 team, a 10-6 team maybe. We dropped the last 3 games of the season and finished 8-8. But even with that 8-8 record, I'm looking at this next season. You get a Hall of Fame quarterback in there, you can't win 3 more games. 3 more games?
I'll give you that if Big Ben is a Hall of Fame quarterback next year, then you'll probably do well in that division. But I'm worried about Big Ben, and I'm also worried about the guy that's under center for Cincinnati.
I mean, dude, let's talk about Joe Burrow, because that's obviously who you're talking about. I love this kid. I love what I saw from him in college. I think we need to pump the brakes on this guy. I'm not gonna say all out bust right now. He hasn't even played a snap. But let's see what points we have about Joe Burrow. He's a chip on his shoulder kind of guy who bounced around, proved himself, and worked towards the top of college football. Sounds like Baker Mayfield, right? Can we?
Those 3 descriptions sound like Baker Mayfield.
Listen, and he's. I think he's more talented. I think he's smarter. I think he's a better locker room guy, 100%. He's not some dumbass who's gonna go, chugging beers at a baseball game. I think that's how you win over your teammates. I think that he's a great player, but I think when we look at these guys who don't have the pedigree like a Trevor Lawrence or the Manning brothers or all these guys who you're like, oh, that's a sure thing, that's a lot. They've been the best quarterback around them for their entire lives. That's a level of confidence. That is a quarterback pedigree that you cannot debate with. Those are sure locks. Whereas you see this guy, he's a chip on his shoulder, and again, I hope the best for Joe Burrow, but I'm just gonna say right now, I'm not really worried about the Bengals this year.
Are you taking Joe Burrow or Tua this year?
Tua.
Let's go. All right, I'll take that. That's fine with me.
Tua 100%. I mean, him on a healthy hip is exactly what I talk about. A guy with a pedigree who's been the best quarterback around him his entire career, really.
I think that no matter what happens in the league this year, I mean, we're going to see the Bucs go on this run. The Brady is going to be a fun team to watch with Gronk. The Cardinals, I know you like to get a little better.
I mean, I think that Kyler Murray is in the situation where he's finally has the receiver, he has the offense, he has the defense. Cliff Kingsbury, this is your chance. You have everything that you wanted, and I think last year we couldn't have judged him on that, but this year I think this is his shot to prove that he can bring this college to NFL vision to life. And if he can do that, I think this is going to be a dangerous team.
I think the Cardinals will be better. I think that there's more parity just overall in the league. There's going to be more better teams this year.
100%.
Young guys like Kyler and Joe and Tua are taking over. But I think that it's all for naught because the Chiefs have 21 of 22 returning starters. So whatever happens on either conference, I think the Chiefs are running away.
Hardest thing to do is repeat. The hardest thing to do is repeat.
The hardest thing to do is to beat Patrick Mahomes.